Okay, so the first act. Hopefully I don't have to explain what that is. On the left we have our outline, our story threads of different subplots, divided and organized by weight and importance. So the A plot is the most significant and the D plot is the least. And there's 10 scenes, and these scenes will make up our first act. On the right we have our characters and our plot. We showed in the last video that characters and plot go hand in hand. The story starts with a hero wanting something, but there's resistance until they change, and we showed that those elements of a story can be personified into characters, like the main character, the mentor, the antagonist, and the character that the hero ultimately wants to become, to transform into, and that this can be also represented by the story circle, or the hero's journey. Hero starts out at home, but they want something, they go and they find it, but they pay the cost, returning home having changed. And so what we need to do now in the formula is show what we want to do is we want to integrate the plot and the characters all into the first act so that we don't incorporate any pieces too late in the story. We want them all introduced so that we can tell a full story. So that the partner doesn't come in the fourth act, or the villain doesn't come in the second act. We want everything to be introduced early, as it should. So what to do to begin is we want to take our characters and the part of the plot that they represent and move it over into our outline. And if we look at the A plot, there's 4 scenes, and in the plot with our characters there's 4 characters. So we can move these over to the outline for each of the main A plots, right? And we can go in that order, like the hero will take up the first, the guardian or the mentor will take place at the second, the villain will take place the third, and the partner will take up the last. And I'll show how that fits with what we know about story structure, like with Save the Cat. Okay, so here I've moved our characters and the plot they represent into the outline at their points in the main A plot. And an example of this, so that I'm not just making this up, is something like Star Wars or The Matrix. We have Neo who starts out the story, and then he meets Morpheus and learns about the Matrix, and then the agents interrogate him, right, the villain, and then Trinity takes him to Morpheus and enters the Matrix, which is the end of Act 1. Or Star Wars, where they start with Luke, and they get the message from R2-D2 to save the princess, and then the stormtroopers come and destroy his home, and then Han Solo takes them out of Act 1. Right, so that those 4 characters in those 2 stories represent each of these characters. And on the left I have the first act of a story structure known as Save the Cat, which is basically a hero starts at home, work, doing whatever. That takes up the first 10%, and then after that a hero experiences a call to adventure or a catalyst or an inciting incident. That usually happens at the midway point of the first act. And then there's this valley that no one can really explain called the debate stage, which leads into Break Into 2. It involves like a refusal of the call and like assistance from the mentor, and it's like this big valley that no one can ever explain, that hopefully I'm going to explain to you. And basically if we line this up with my outline, it fits, because when the guardian appears at the midpoint of our outline, that's when the story goal is introduced. That's the call to adventure, right? That's the catalyst. So already you can see that I'm not really making this up. It's just further elaborating or incorporating more detail to story structures we already know that have missing pieces. So after everything we've gone over so far, let's show how a first act should play out. Basically, you start a story with your main character doing whatever it is you want to show them doing, and then they want something. And that want is established by the Guardian in the Catalyst, the Call to Adventure, the Mentor, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Morpheus, the Dumbledore, right? And they establish to the hero what it is they want. And then after the Catalyst, we enter the debate stage, which is the last half of the first act. And basically, what's going to happen is the hero will refuse the call to adventure because the hero will have some kind of internal flaw. They won't be confident, right? Because any goal worth having shouldn't come easy. And if it was easy, you'd have to ask, well, why hasn't the hero done it? Why does the mentor have to come to him? Why is the hero lacking in going after this goal if it's not hard? So the Guardian's going to come to the hero, they're going to refuse, and they're going to go back home. They're going to say, nope, I'm out. I don't want to save the world, I'm just an average person. Okay, so that's where refusal of the call comes. And then you enter the debate stage. Okay, and when the hero returns back home, the villain is introduced. And the villain will essentially destroy the hero's home, like how the agents did with Neo, or the stormtroopers did with Luke, or how Voldemort does it with Harry, right? He can't go back home anymore. He has to basically go on the journey or be homeless and die, right? So the villain comes, and the villain essentially wants to destroy the hero because the hero is destined to achieve this story goal, which is why the Guardian has come to him, and the hero refuses his destiny. So the villain will come to destroy the hero's home. The hero will be left with nothing, but they won't have confidence to go out on the journey yet. They would rather accept death than face their destiny. They don't even want to believe they're some kind of chosen one. So we enter the partner, right? The person that the hero wants to be. The hero is lacking what the hero is lacking what the partner has. So the partner is confident, right? The partner is like Buzz Lightyear to the hero's Woody in Toy Story, right? It's the good cop, bad cop in a detective story. It's the lonely guy and the beautiful girl. It's Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. It's the confident guy versus the insecure, nerdy guy. The partner comes and saves the day when the villain attacks the hero at their home and destroys everything. The partner comes and is revealed to the hero that there's hope, that maybe if the hero just transforms into the partner, they can achieve their destiny that has been brought on by this call to adventure from the Guardian. And so that's how a first act sequence should play out. It's done in The Matrix and Star Wars and Harry Potter, and it's very well done. And it follows the story of a hero wants something, they get this call to their destiny, they face resistance by the villain, right? They pay the cost, they lose their home, and then they change by being saved by the partner and seeing hope in this possible transformation, that if they just believe in the partner and what the partner does in teaching, that they can achieve their destiny brought on by the Guardian. And so already going forward in the story, you have this pair, this opposing pair, which will create conflict between the hero and the partner, and they'll be going after a story goal set by the Guardian, and they'll face constant obstacles brought on by the villain. So yeah, that's how you establish the first act, the plot, the main characters, and you can put in the B, C, and D plots whatever you want to make it yours. So yeah, that's it. We'll go on to the second act in the next video.